Guys, Sean C. Phillips here on that brand new DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. Taking a go out today, see what things came out, see what things are on sale today. Today, though, some of the big releases that come out. There's only a couple of things that are going to be in stores, big release-wise. One is Dora and the Lost City of Gold, and I don't believe there's any exclusive editions of that one. Also, Blinded by the Light, that one releases today, as well as Handmaid's Tale, the complete third season. Also, though, at the end of this video is going to be a whole bunch of brand new DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K reviews for some things I received to review and talk about for you guys. Some really cool stuff. And as always too, let me know in the comments below though what you guys thought of the DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks that I reviewed. Guys, if you've seen them, what you thought of them. Also, if you guys plan on picking any of them up. But anyway though, guys, let's get going and see what we can find today. Into Target we go. In here today though, I'm definitely not expecting this stuff to be out since it's only like probably 2 or 3 titles I feel like they're going to have in store today. I have a feeling, since Targets usually don't have the things out, I have a feeling they won't be, but we shall see though. Well, like I was thinking though, the stuff isn't out here, but this actually has the spots for it. I'll look in this section as well though, but Blinded by the Light here on Blu-ray is going to be $22.99 and $50.99 for the DVD of that one. Then Dora and the Lost City of Gold is $19.99 on Blu-ray, and then $17.99 on DVD. Yeah, but in there though, in the actual section, they didn't have the stuff out, but they did have a spot in there for Handmaid's Tale Season 3. It looks like they're only going to have the DVD of that one. It was funny too, somebody ended up putting in the kids section, they put the movie Midsummer, and they put like one of the Walking Dead seasons in there, and they like must have did it as some kind of a strange joke or something, but it was kind of funny. They put them in that section. But now I'm going to head over to Walmart though. They should have some more stuff though. Like I said, it's not tons of releases that are going to be in stores though, but I'm pretty sure they should have some other different stuff though. Into Walmart we go. When in here today though, like I was saying, the big thing that came out was Dora and the Lost City of Gold. And with that one, it doesn't look like they have any exclusives. The one here though does have like a bonus digital movie on Vudu of Hotel for Dogs. So I'm not sure if that one might be I think that might be something exclusive to Walmart though, but it's $19.96 for the Blu-ray DVD combo of that one, and then $17.96 for the DVD of that one. Also though, Blinded by the Light came out today, and that one's $19.96 for that, and then $17.96 for the DVD of that one. Other than that though, it seems like it's all the same things here. I'll look over here in the section. I have to check in here now because they mix in some of the new releases. Yeah, so like some of the other ones today that came out was the Divine Fury, and that one's $14.96 for that. And this one I would really recommend you guys check out. Really like this one. This movie starring Jim Gaffigan called American Dreamer, and this was like his character was driving like for like a Lyft kind of company, and he meets this guy who wants him to be basically the guy who drives him around at his beck and call. Like anytime he calls, he says, "You need to pick me up," and basically though the guy is doing some bad stuff, and then he ends up having this plan of like kidnapping his son, and it's like it goes horrible. It's like but it was really well done. Jim Gaffigan though did an amazing performance in this movie, but it's $14.96 for the Blu-ray and then $12.96 for the DVD, but would highly recommend you guys check that out. Other than that though, I'm seeing if there's anything else new, because it seems like you got to check over here now because they mix in new stuff in here now, because usually they used to only change this out the first Tuesday of the month, but now it seems like they're putting some of the new stuff over here. I also wanted to mention too, like last week I was saying like one movie that was called Brian Banks, so I was calling it Brain Banks. I never really talk about it, but I'm extremely dyslexic, so I never really bring that up, but that's why sometimes I pronounce things wrong or say things totally wrong. That's why though, is because I'm really dyslexic. But also though, Ancient Aliens Season 12 Volume 1, that released today, and that's $9.96 for that one. Catch 22 came out today, and that one's $19.96 for that, and as well as Handmaid's Tale, they have the DVD of that one for $14.96 here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in here mixed in new. I don't believe so. As far as I can tell, I think that's all the major new things here. I can tell it doesn't look like there's anything else mixed in over here that I'm missing, and over here 4K wise, I don't see anything new over here either though. The only other thing I did notice here, Dora, the Lost City and the Go related here that they have is for $22.99. They have one here that has Bumblebee on Blu-ray, and then it has a digital copy of, you know, Dora the Explorer movie here for $22.96. One other thing I did see here too was this movie here called Paws to the Rescue. I don't know if this is new. I don't remember seeing this, but it's just so funny how, like, you know, as a kid I remember they made so many like bumbling like criminal movies, you know, after Home Alone, and even to this day they're making ones, you know, with like bumbling criminals having a problem with a dog and stuff. I don't know, it's kind of funny how they, to this day, they still make those kind of like movies like that. But like I said, other than that, I believe that was one of the other new ones today, and I think Go Fish, I think that might have released today as well. Yeah, but I think now that I'm going to head over to a thrift store that I haven't been to in like maybe a little over a month or so. It's been quite a while since I've been there, so, you know, fingers crossed they have some different stuff in there movie-wise, because I have found some decent stuff in there in the past, so we shall see. Like I said, I think it's been a little over a month or so since I've been there. Into Big Lots we go. But in here though, I see a couple of different things that I haven't seen in the past. Like, I don't think I remember seeing SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water, the 3D one in here. But they had like, this one that I kind of like this movie. It was all filmed in Vegas, Sleepless, and it's down to only $2.50 now. This is one of those ones I never got in the past, so I might get that one. There are some decent stuff in here though, like Some Like It Hot. This one here, so I think I only have the DVD of this one, this Term Life. So I might get the Blu-ray of that one as well. I don't remember seeing that one. Some of the stuff I've seen here in the past though, but like How the Furnace is a really good movie. If you guys have never seen that one. And then they have like some older stuff in here, like I saw Disturbia in here and Drillbit Taylor, because this was like released a long time ago, like 2008 is when I think this Blu-ray came out. This is one of those movies, I remember, I don't know, I always kind of thought this was a fun movie. It's like not perfect or anything, but I always kind of like that one. Other than those ones in here, I see a couple different stuff in here I don't remember seeing in the past, like this light one here. There is a Blu-ray of this one, but they only seem to have the DVD of this one. I don't remember seeing that one. I think some of these Scooby-Doo ones, like the Scooby-Doo that's like one that's done like puppets, I don't believe I saw this one here in the past. But like other than that though, I'm not seeing anything else too different in here though. And the one thing too I thought was kind of interesting, I'm really actually looking forward to it, the next Tremors movie that they're doing, you know, Michael Gross is back, and then John Heder is starring in it, so I'm really interested in seeing that. Oh, so I don't know what's going on over there, but other than that though, in here, this is another one that I think when this first released, this one Area 51, I think, I might be wrong, but I for some reason believe this was like one of those Walmart exclusive ones. Like they were the only people at the time that had that one. But other than these two ones, these are the only, you know, sort of different things in here that, well, this one they've had, but like I said, it's now down to only $2.50. It was $5. And this one I don't remember seeing in here in the past though. Well, I had to go in the car now because it's like pouring rain, but I ended up going to the Big Lots first, so I'm going to the thrift store next. But in there, though, I ended up getting that, you know, Sleepless there for only $2.50, and then that one Term Life. Like I said, I've seen the DVD of that in here, and it may have been like $5 in the past and just on sale now. And I feel like they might have had more stuff because of like the Black Friday sales and stuff coming up. And they also in there, I got these for my brother. Like these are really rare to find in there. These are real East Coast, and somehow they had them in here. They had like, you know, classic Utz chips. These are like chips you really see like in Maryland. And they also had these ones, which, you know, haven't seen since I moved out from, you know, from out here from Maryland. And these ones are really obscure to see. The honey barbecue ones for $1. You know, get excited over weird things, I know. But now though, like I said, it's a rare sight to have this rain going on. But now going to head over to the thrift store. But into the Valley thrift store we go. Well, we're going to take a look though and see what's different in here today, and I do see a whole lot of stuff down here in the bottom, so that's always good. Is when there's a lot of stuff down here, that usually means there's a bunch of different things in here. There's a bunch more stuff down here on the bottom. This section always gets really busy, and they even have some VHS tapes in here like Tommy Knockers. This is one I remember, you know, watching this one so many times as a kid. I always really liked that. It's funny, it says it's rated R. For some reason, I never thought this movie had a rating to it. And I don't know if you guys remember that either, but this is like a TV movie, and I never remember this being rated R because I was watching this as a little kid. So I feel like as a kid I wouldn't have been able to look at this, because I don't know when this was on originally, like
early 90s, or I can't remember, but like I said, I don't remember it being rated R, but let me know in the comments below if you guys remember this being rated R. And they have a Hairspray here as well, the VHS of that one. But like I said though, gonna look through all this stuff and see if I can find anything in here different today. I haven't been in here in, like I said, like probably maybe like over a month or two, so it's been quite a while. And sometimes in the past I find decent stuff, and then sometimes it's always just kind of like the same stuff. This is one of those movies when people talk about like something that needs a Blu-ray release. This comes up so often. This is a really cool movie. Like, hopefully someday it does get a Blu-ray or a 4K or something, because it's only ever been on DVD. There's that new movie though with Kristen Stewart coming out that kind of looks like a similar kind of movie to this one. It looks sort of interesting. I think it comes out like in January. It's called like Underwater or something like that, but it has that similar kind of feel to like The Abyss. But like I said though, just gonna go through all this stuff and then look on the bottom here and see if we can find anything different today. In here though, I found some weird stuff. Like this one, I'm pretty sure I have this one, but this is like really out of print. If you guys come across this one, Wild America, with Devon Sawa and Jonathan Terrell Thomas. Like, I remember liking this one. This is the same director who did Harry and the Hendersons. And then this one here is like some obscure weird thing here called like Road to Redemption, about some guy like driving across Vegas on like a road trip. I think it's a guy from the Batman and a bunch of different stuff. It looks kind of, I think it's like a religious movie or something. It looks sort of interesting, kind of strange. And then this thing here is like some Storm Station 4.2 weather DVD. I've never seen anything like this. It's like Fox 4 from Kansas City. I don't know how that ended up out here, and it's got like terrific weather lessons and like more weather experiments and cool web links. That's definitely a very strange one in here, but there's definitely a couple of interesting things mixed in. And this one here, that Frankie Muniz movie, Stay Alive, I always thought this was okay, that movie. But in here, though, like I said, there's definitely some interesting stuff in here today.
And this past weekend, I saw a couple of films in theaters. The first one I saw, I finally got to see Dr. Sleep, which is one of those movies when I first saw the trailers, wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, because, like, I absolutely love, Stanley Kubrick's original film. And, the thing that was kind of weird about, this one is, it's like, referencing a lot to his film. And, I know that Stephen King, wrote Dr. Sleep, and it's like his story and everything, but it's interesting though how it's referencing Stanley Kubrick's with like the look and the characters and everything and the story wise, because, when that originally came out, Stanley Kubrick's film, Stephen King was really upset about like things that were changed and kind of the look of the movie and all that kind of stuff, because he even did his own version of it in the 90s, the Shining, miniseries movie, which I never loved that one, because it's like, to me, there was like, everything was absolutely perfect with Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Everything worked, in my opinion, worked and everything. But, Stephen King kind of came and changed around, like, I guess he likes his more now, or is more accepting to it now, because like I said, it references a lot to like the looks and the character looks and all that kind of stuff. But, when it comes to this, though, it's basically, though, Danny Torrance's character, who was the kid in the original film, his character now played by Ewan McGregor, and it's essentially about, he ends up having this connection to this girl that has the same abilities that he has, and for some reason he's able to, like, she's like reaching out to him and everything, and it deals with a group of these people that are trying to find this girl and these other kids that have like that same type of ability. And I don't want to say too much more about what happens, like ruin anything story-wise, but like I said, I was really, really surprised with the movie. It's one of those movies, though, I feel like the trailers, too, don't do it justice. Because there's some movies with trailers like that, they don't, like, make the movie look as interesting as they could. But I kind of like that sometimes, because it doesn't, like, spoil everything. Because there's some movies, where, like, for example, like the upcoming Black Christmas, even though like, what happens if you've seen the other movie and then the remake, it's still, like, the new trailer for that one, like, it gives, like, away everything. It's like there's, like, no surprises. And sometimes that's a pain, like, when everything is given away and you kind of like have already seen the whole movie. That happens a lot with like some of the things like Ma and stuff like that. I don't know, that's the one thing with trailers though. It's a pain, when how often they kind of give away so much stuff, with like the plot, and they even show like the ends half the time. But overall though, if you guys are kind of up in the air about seeing it, definitely would recommend you guys see it. Really like that one a lot. The other one that I really like the music as well, because it had like kickbacks and like references kind of like to the music from the original movie that they kind of tied into the film. The other one I saw was the Charlie's Angels reboot, so, directed by Elizabeth Banks, and actually talking about the Charlie's Angels series, the Blu-ray series. It was just released at the end of this video, so definitely stay tuned for that in the review section. But when it comes to Charlie's Angels, though, I always liked the ones, you know, with Lucy Liu and, you know, Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore. I thought those were fun movies, and they were kind of like more like comedy mixed with like action together, and kind of like a mix between them. And I liked Tom Green, the first movie. I don't know, I just thought they were fun movies. The new one, though, I thought, you know, all the actresses did a really good job and everything, but the biggest flaw to the new movie, though, was I thought that the story wasn't that interesting. The actual story to what was happening was like dealing with like some kind of a device that they had to get, and I don't know, get back because they thought it could be bad, and I don't know, it's just like something about the actual story just was kind of hard to follow a little bit, and just wasn't super interesting. And like even like a lot of the action sequences were not that well like choreographed, like the way, because when you look at like action sequences and like the stuff like the John Wick movies, like that are all done with these wide shots, and like the way they do it is like amazing. I don't know, it just wasn't like the best action kind of sequences in it. Overall, though, I didn't honestly love that one too much. But if you guys got to see Dr. Sleep or Charlie's Angels, you know, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of them, or what you guys got to see this past weekend, if you guys got to see anything.
Into Best Buy we go. But in here, though, they have Dora and the Lost City of Gold. It doesn't look like I said, they have any exclusives of that one. It's $19.99 for that one, and then Blinded by the Light, that's $19.99 as well. Also, they have in here Heathers. I believe this came out last week, but I didn't see it in here last week. It's $19.99 for the 30th anniversary of Heathers in this cool Steelbook edition here. It's actually a pretty cool release here for this one. I believe, though, it's the same one from the past, though. I don't think it's a new actual disc or transfer or anything like that for this one, but definitely is a pretty cool one, and cool they have this one in here. Like I said, that one's $19.99 for that. And the front, though, they had the Handmaid's Tale on Blu-ray and DVD as well, though, you know, in here as well, because I only saw the DVD in the other places, but they do have the Blu-ray of that. But in here, though, they're starting to have some of the Black Friday stuff out. Like I see some of the game systems, I see like some like phone stuff over there. You can hear the rain like pouring down the roof. It's like, this rain day is insane. But you see like Xbox One here and PS4 Pro. All these things are going to be part of like the Black Friday sale. Like right here, this is definitely something wrapped over for Black Friday. And they also have in here too, this is the first time I've seen this one in person. Man, the rain, like I said, you can really hear it, is this Best Buy exclusive 4K Steelbook releases here of the Batman films. So that's a really cool one. If you guys don't have these ones on 4K, it's $89.99 for those. But like I said, you see a bunch of printers over there, like part of the sales. Like the stuff's already unwrapped, but like some monitors over there and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, though, over here, though, I did see they have American Dreamer here as well for $14.99. Like I was saying, I really love this movie. Highly recommend you guys check this one out. And if you have seen it too, let me know what you thought of it. But I really thought Jim Gaffigan, you know, he's more known for comedy roles, did a great job in this movie doing like a heavy drama kind of part. And like I showed this in the front door in the Lost City of Gold. This one here came out today, I believe, Fruits Basket Season 1 Part 1 for $39.99. And they have a re-release here of Farscape, the complete series, because this one had been released in the past. I remember reviewing this. Now it's released through Sony, but I think it was from like A&E, or I can't remember for sure. I think it might have been A&E or Cinedigm or somebody who released it originally when it first came out. Other than that, though, I don't see anything else in here different today, though. Yeah, see, look at this rain. Like I was saying, it's like pouring down. Like you could hear it really bad on the, you know, the roof and stuff. This is like the first like big rain that's been forever. But yeah, and you can even see for Black Friday, they've already got like the stuff for the lines out. But those wondering, I am doing a Black Friday video. But yeah, these are all the stuff they put up to have the lines and everything.
But anyway, though, guys, that's all for this DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. Like I always say, if you guys enjoy these shopping videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate all the support, too. And also, too, let me know in the comments below, though, what you guys picked up on DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K. If you guys ended up picking up anything today. Also, let me know as well what you guys thought of the DVDs and Blu-rays and 4Ks that I reviewed at the end of this video. Like I always say, too, if you guys have seen any of them, what you thought of them, and also if you guys plan on picking any of them up. But anyway, though, guys, now stay tuned for the brand new reviews. And the first one I got here is from Arrow Video, and it's the limited edition here of Robocop. And this is the 2-disc set, which includes the director's cut of the film, as well as the theatrical cut. And that's on disc 2, which is part of the limited edition one. Well, what's really cool, though, is on the theatrical cut disc, it also includes the television cut of the film, which is, you know, has like alternate takes, dubbed over dialogue, you know, different versions of scenes and that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. I really love that those, you know, the television cuts are starting to get included in releases lately. I think that's a really, really cool thing. And on there, though, it also has a comparison feature on there, comparing the director's cut and the theatrical cut. Because, you know, you guys, you know, seen the director's cut, it's a much, much gorier version of the film, because the movie originally got like an X rating and had to get cut down and had to have all these edits and everything. It also has on here, too, Robocop edited for television, which has some of the television scenes. Now they like discovered them, the HD prints of those, so those scenes are in HD as well, so you guys can look at those ones as well. It's a really some really cool features on here too. There's a whole bunch of other features as well on the disc 1, which has a new interview on here with Nancy Allen. It has some interview on here with the casting director. It has some archival features as well, like a 2012 Q&A with the filmmakers. It has effects then and now featurette from 2007. It has deleted scenes. It has theatrical trailers, TV spots, image galleries, so lots and lots of features. And I'm sure you guys will look inside as well. But if you guys have never seen Robocop, it's basically, though, set in the future where like crime is overrun and they're trying to figure out exactly how to deal with it. So they're working on like this big robot that will kind of help control the crime that's going on. But the things are going terribly wrong with this robot, and it malfunctions and all things go really wrong. And the movie, though, is basically, though, about a cop played by Peter Weller's character who ends up, you know, getting killed by this gang of these criminals. He gets killed in this terrible, violent death, but he ends up getting brought back to life as a Robocop. And it's basically, though, like he's kind of like the trial. They're trying to see if, you know, that maybe this could be like what would they need to sort of control all the crime that's going on as a cop that's a robot. But of course, though, he's supposed to not really remember anything from his past life, like his wife or anything like that, but he starts having like degrees of like memory. He starts kind of remembering things, and he's going around, you know, controlling crime, and he's actually working with his original partner. It's a really, really good movie. It's one of those films, if you guys have never seen it before, it's an absolute must watch. And in here, like I said, this is a really cool limited edition version here, which includes a poster. It has the brand new artwork poster, so it's a double-sided poster which has the brand new artwork as well as the original artwork as well, you know, the original poster artwork, as well as in here there is a booklet which has all kinds of stuff about the production. It has like behind the scenes photos in here. It's a really, really, you know, intricate booklet. Like I said, it has all kinds of stuff about the production and the cast and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool poster on here as well. And then also, though, inside, like I said, it's a 2-disc set. And in here it also includes a, this property is protected by Robocop sticker in here, as well as some lobby cards as well from the film. Like I said, though, a really, really cool release here. And if you guys have never seen, you know, the original Robocop, it's absolutely a must-watch. You know, there was the remake of Robocop from a number of years back, and I never loved that remake. It was kind of like one of those, like, remakes that was kind of watchable, but it was no way near as cool as the original film. And there were sequels to the movie as well, like Part 2 and 3. And like, what's funny was the first Robocop I ever saw was actually the third movie. So that was like the one I saw as a kid, since that one was only PG-13. The next one here is from Arrow Video as well, and it's a movie here called Jake Speed. And this is kind of like a sort of like an Indiana Jones, Romancing the Stone kind of movie. It's basically, though, about this one girl who ends up getting kidnapped when she's in France, and her family is trying to figure out exactly how they're going to find her, because like the cops are really like not too much help, and the one's grandfather is saying, well, you know who you need is, you need you know, Jake Speed, you know, and they're all like at the table going, what are you talking about? Jake Speed's a book. It's like a novel. It's like a, you know, not real. It's like, it's a character in a book. But then they end up, you know, the one girl ends up seeing Jake Speed, and he's like, oh yeah, well, she ends up coming across him, and it's kind of like he's kind of like I said, like an Indiana Jones kind of character, sort of, and like, you know, like I said, it's got that Romancing the Stone kind of vibe to this, and it's kind of them going on the journey to try and track down what's happened to her, because they believe she was kidnapped and taken in, and like all these kind of things that are going on there, and it's like their journey to Africa to try and track her down and bring her back. It's actually a really fun adventure film here, like one I had never seen before. And it has on here, though, a brand new 2K restoration on this one. It also has on here, though, a new interview with the co-writer, producer, and director Andrew Lane on here, as well as a new interview on here with the producer on this one as well. Also, though, there is a booklet in here which has some stills from the movie and some stuff about the production and all that kind of stuff as well on this one. Now, the next ones here are from Shout Factory, Scream Factory line. The first one here is the movie which stars Stacy Keach and, Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's Road Games. This is a movie, it's a really, really underrated movie, and I always have really liked this movie. It has a cool vibe to this movie. It also, it's an Australian film, and one thing I noticed with a lot of Australian movies is, even though it can deal with some really serious subject matter, they always, like, put in some kind of comedy elements as well. So there are some, like, kind of, like, dark comedy kind of, like, aspects to this movie as well. And a lot of Australian movies are like that. They can be really, like, serious in tone, and then they can have, like, some really goofy kind of sequences in them as well. There's, like, a lot of ones that I can think of that are kind of like that. And this one is basically, though, about Stacy Keach's character, who is this truck driver, and he's kind of like, really bored, and he's kind of has like games that he kind of plays on the road about, like, oh, is this person's gonna do this, and then, he kind of like watches people. He's kind of like people watching as he's driving, and he kind of like thinks about how you might see somebody and then you see them again on the road, all these kind of things, like he kind of thinks to himself. And he ends up noticing, though, this one van, and it's like he notices that one girl goes in this place with this guy, and then then the guy looks like he kind of believes that he may have, this guy in the van might have killed this girl, and he kind of becomes like fixated on like following this guy. And then Jamie Lee Curtis's character is hitchhiking, and like he kind of is like telling her, Stacy Keach's character is kind of telling her like this game about like this, like they have this like sort of game with each other, and like but she kind of thinks he's just messing around, and he's kind of saying, well, what, this guy could have done this, and it's this whole interesting thing, but it becomes a whole big thing. Like Stacy Keach's character, like starting to kind of like because he's following around, like, and like this person in the van is like doing something, it's like not good for him because he's always there at the same time. It's like I said, it's a really, really interesting movie. It's one, if you guys have never seen this movie, it's an absolute must watch. On here, though, it has a whole ton of features. It has a brand new interview on here with Stacy Keach. It has a new commentary on here with the cinematographer, as well as a production coordinator on this one, as well as it's moderated by filmmaker Mark Hotley, as well as a 1980 script read with producer director Richard Franklin and the actors Stacy Keach and Marion Edward. It has a thing on here, a brand new featurette on the composing, the music on this one, archival commentary on here with the director. It has a 2006 commentary with 2016 commentary with Stacy Keach, 1981 profile on Richard Franklin. So lots and lots of features on this one. The next one, too, is one I had not seen this movie in years, and it's directed by John Carpenter. It's a brand new collector's edition here of Big Trouble in Little China, and this stars Kurt Russell and Kim Cattrall, and it's basically, though, about Kurt Russell's character is this truck driver, and he ends up going into Chinatown, and he kind of like he does like card games and gambling with one of his friends there at like the fish market, and he basically, his character wins all this money, and the one character that he's playing the game with, though, is like, oh, can I get a chance to win my money back if I can cut this bottle in half? And of course, though, he doesn't cut the bottle in half, so then he owes Kurt Russell's character all this other money, and he's like, well, would you mind, I have to pick up my girlfriend at the airport. She's finally coming over here from China, and I'm going to pick her up, and you can come along with me, and then I'll get you the money afterwards. And then they go to the airport, and there's like this gang of these criminals there that end up kidnapping the girl right when she gets off the airplane. And it's kind of Kurt Russell and the guy going on this like journey into Chinatown to try and track down the gang that kidnapped his girlfriend. And when they go there, though, it ends up being like all sorts of like sorcery and magic and like all kinds of stuff with like the ninjas that they come across that are like fighting each other, and then like they basically like just kind of like every kind of problem that you can imagine that they run into. And there's like, it kind of one of those movies too, if you never knew anything about this movie, it has all kind of different things. It has like creatures in here and like all kinds of stuff you would never expect. And it's like a really, really fun movie. Like I said, I had not seen this movie in years and years and years. And it's a really great brand new edition here of the film. But it has on here though, feature-wise, it has a new interview on here with actors Dennis Dunn, James Hong, and so as some of the other actors. The producer and martial arts coordinator in this one has some archival features on here, like interviews with John Carpenter and Kurt Russell, deleted scenes, music video, gag reel, extended ending. It has isolated score. It has a new commentary track on here with effects artist Steve Johnson, as well as an archival commentary with John Carpenter and Kurt Russell, TV spots, theatrical trailers, so tons and tons of features on this one. And just like I said, a really, really fun movie if you guys have never seen this movie. And the next one I got here is from Shout Factory, Scream Factory line as well, and it's a movie here called Prophecy. And I always feel like this is a really underrated movie that you don't hear about too often, so I was really glad when Shout Factory released this one. This is basically, though, about kind of like, you know, pollution and like kind of the dangers of it if it caused like insane mutations and things like that. Because it's basically, though, in the beginning of this movie, you know, it's set kind of in like in Maine and kind of like an area with like water and a lot of stuff around like that, and you see these people who get killed by some kind of this creature. You don't exactly know what it is, but they're showing some kind of a weird thing like attacking them. And it's basically, though, about this doctor and his wife, though, who go there to kind of because he's going to look into like because certain weird things have kind of been discovered there, and like mutations and stuff like that. So he's there to kind of look into the whole thing. And they discover like these insane, gigantic sized fish that are like, you know, 10 times bigger than they should be, and all sorts of odd things going on, as well as like these deaths that had happened. So they're kind of there trying to like look into the whole thing. Of course, though, you know that there's some kind of this creature you saw in the beginning of this movie that is kind of out there as well, like out there like kind of hiding out and attacking people and stuff like that. It is a really cool movie. Like I said, one like you do not hear about too often. Was really glad this one got a a Blu-ray release. On here, though, feature-wise, it has interviews on here, brand new interviews on here with Talia Shrine, as well as Robert Fox and the writer on this one, as well as a special effects artist on this one, as well as a theatrical trailer and a photo gallery on this one. The next one here is from Scream Factory as well, and this is the Frank Langella film that he stars in, Dracula. And this is, this is from 1979. Which is interesting on here too is this has two different versions of the film, two different color timing versions. Because I remember I was reading that the director originally wanted the movie to be in black and white, and then the studio didn't want that, so he ended up doing one where he ended up like, when it got released later in 1991, when it came out again, he ended up dialing down the, picture quality to make it much more muted kind of tones and everything. So it has on here, though, it's a 2-disc version. So it has the theatrical version, which is the much more colorful version, and then it has the new one, which is the color timed one, which is a much more muted kind of picture quality, which has much more of a grim and gloomy kind of vibe to it. But this is basically, though, about Franklin Gozer's character as Dracula, and he kind of is going on his ship over to to England, and the ship has this terrible accident and like capsizes, and he ends up washed up ashore, and he's kind of rescued and taken to this castle asylum and kind of like welcomed there and everything, but he ends up taking a liking to the one girl there, because that was kind of why he was going over there, was to try and find his like bride. And it's basically, though, it's it's Bram Stoker's version with some things changed around as well, but it has much more too of a, because some of the Dracula movies can have like kind of a not super serious kind of vibe. This one has a much more serious kind of feel to it, I would say. And I thought Franklin Gozer did a really good job. Like I said, though, it's a 2-disc version, so it has the director's preferred color timing version. It has a new introduction on here with the director, a new interview on here with John Badham, as well as an archival commentary track on here. It has on here, like I said, the original color timing version, new commentary on here with film historian Constantine Nasser, as well as the theatrical trailer and a still gallery. And this one is really cool. I'm really glad this one got a Blu-ray release. This is from Shout Factory as well. This is Mystery Science Theater 3000, The Gauntlet. This is season 12. This is, I believe, this is the second season of the Netflix series when they brought the show to Netflix. And what's cool is on here, though, if you guys don't know it, though, it's basically, though, the characters like forced to watch bad movies with the robots, and like they kind of like talk, like make jokes throughout the movies that they're watching, like because it's supposed to be like they're watching bad movies, and they're kind of like making jokes about the movie and pointing out like the ridiculousness of certain things and the cheesiness and all that kind of stuff. But what's cool is movie-wise, you got some of the here's the movies that are on here though, and I'll save my favorite one last though. But it has on here Lords of the Deep, Killer Fish, Atlantic Rim, The Daytime Ended, Atar, the Fighting Eagle, as well as Mac and Me, which is my favorite one on here, because that, you know, Mac and Me, like as a kid, I never even saw that as like a bad movie. Like I, you know, love that movie as a little kid. I always noticed that it had lots of product placements. Like even as a kid, I did notice that there was a lot of like products and like things that they were featuring a little more than they probably should have. But you know, it's one of those movies, like if it's on TV or anything, I always have to watch it. It's like, it's just, to me, just such a fun movie. So I was really glad that they did a riffing on, you know, Mac and Me. I thought that was really fun to see. But if, like I said, one of you guys know this one was available and has a physical release here from Shout Factory. The next one here is from Lionsgate, and I believe this is the third film in the series of the, you know, the Olympus Has Fallen. There was two ones right before this one. I think it was Olympus Has Fallen, then London Is Falling, and now Angel Is Falling, and which, you know, stars Gerard Butler and Morgan Freeman. And this is, you know, this is the 4K Ultra HD edition, which has the 4K as well as the Blu-ray and the digital copy. But it's basically, though, about Gerard Butler's character who is, you know, works for like the Secret Service to protect the president. And in this movie, though, you know, him and the president and all the Secret Service have gone out onto like to this lake, and he's out there, and they notice though these like whole slew of all these drones coming down like in the sky, like tons and tons of drones. And basically though, the drones are targeting the president and all the Secret Service, and they end up killing all the Secret Service people who are there and all the other people there to protect the president. But the only people that survive is Gerard Butler's character, and of course Gerard Butler's character sees this is all happening and goes to save the president. But what happens though is the president ends up getting injured and is in the hospital, so he can't talk and say what had happened and what he witnessed. And Gerard Butler is in the hospital as well. And basically, when he wakes up, he's handcuffed there, and and he's basically being blamed for all this, and because like they found like evidence that had him where the drones were launched from, like, and he's like, what are you talking about? I've been protecting the president, and I've been through all this stuff in the past, and I would never do anything like this. And it's basically he has to get away and prove his innocence, and you know that he did not have anything to do with this. The same time, he has to go and, you know, figure out exactly who these people were that did this, and he has to go after them and try and track them down to prevent anything else bad from happening, since, you know, the president did survive, so he knows that these people could be coming after him again, or trying to blame him and doing something to the president, making it look like Gerard Butler's character did it. And they say, you know, like I said, I believe, I know I saw the first Olympus Has Fallen film. I don't think I saw London Has Fallen though, but I feel like though, if you guys have not seen those ones, it's still one of those movies where you'll be able to pick up what's going on. Feature-wise though, it has a whole bunch of different featurettes on here about the casting, about the stunts and action on here. It has on here though commentary track on here, which is 3 scenes broken down with a commentary track. But 4K wise too, this one, if you guys have 4K capacities, this movie looks great on 4K. And like the big thing I say with 4K a lot is it's the HDR, and that's where you really see the difference, is the contrast levels. It's all HDR is much more darker levels to the contrast, and also too, like I've said a lot in the past too, it's a much brighter picture all around. I feel like with 4K, it's like this picture quality wise, it's just a much more vibrant, bright, you know, color wise and everything. Like I said, one of you guys know this was available from Lionsgate. The next one here from Lionsgate as well is a movie that stars Mark Dacascos, you know, who was recently in, John Wick 3. And this is a movie here called The Driver. This is a post-apocalyptic zombie film, and it's basically though about Mark Dacascos' character, and you find out throughout this movie more about some of what he was involved with in the past before the apocalypse kind of situation happened where the zombies had taken over and everything. And it's basically though about his character and his daughter, and they're like all living in this kind of commune community, you know, where it's like the survivors are living, and then like, you know, and they're kind of walled off from the zombies and all that kind of stuff. And his character though is sent out and like driving around because he has like these really, you know, great skills with guns and all that kind of stuff. And he's sent, you know, to kind of get provisions and get things they need. And if there's like a dispute and like somebody has gone against the group, he's sent out there as well to, you know, to end their lives basically. And so he's sent to do all these type of things, but he's starting to get worried though, and like thinking that because there's a lot of like turmoil going on, and there's also people that are outside that kind of want to get into this group, and he's kind of worried that something bad is going to happen. He's like telling the head of this group that you know, they need to leave, they need to get out of here. And of course though, you know, like I said, the threat is the zombies as well as these other people, and these other people in the beginning of this movie come in there and like take over the place, and it's him and his daughter getting away and kind of going off on their own and taking, like, because there's very few cars there, and he's like drives off in the one car and goes away and like tries to figure out exactly where they're going to go and, like, you know, and hide out and what's going to happen, because they were always been in this one location. It's kind of them trying to survive from the zombies and the other people that are out there and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's a fun, you know, post-apocalyptic zombie film here. And it has on here, though, feature-wise, it has a making-of on here as well as a trailer gallery. And the next one I got here is from Lionsgate as well. And this is Ancient Aliens Season 12, Volume 1. This is a 2-disc collection here. If you guys don't know Ancient Aliens, it's a documentary series kind of all about aliens and kind of about, you know, how, you know, kind of showing certain kind of bizarre type things and that kind of can't be explained, and kind of, you know, that show that, you know, aliens could have come to this planet, or in some cases, from what some of the stories that they've told, that aliens could still be here. Because, like, for example, some of the ones that are on here, it has like bizarre sea creatures in Peru, ancient druid structures in the American Northwest, alien crafts in Antarctica, alien viruses falling to Earth in comets, people claiming to be alien human hybrids. So all that kind of stuff, and it's like, and it's all, like I said, it's a documentary series that's gone on for years now, and it's up to season 12 here, volume 1. So like I said, one of the guys know this one is available if you guys are a fan of the Ancient Alien series here. The next one here is from Warner Brothers. They sent out a free copy of this one to let you guys know this one's available. And this is a movie here called Blinded by the Light, and this is from the same director who did Bend It Like Beckham. It's one of those movies I always really liked. That's one of those films I need to go back and watch again, because I've not seen that movie in years. And this is basically, though, about this boy and his family, and his family is originally from Pakistan, but he's lived in the UK his whole life. But his father kind of has all sort of like well, says you have to do this, and has all these kind of, you know, he's always kind of telling the family exactly what to do and like how to do things, and kind of don't do this and don't go to this party and don't do these things, and all these sort of things, and you know, don't listen to this kind of music and everything. And it's kind of all about him at school and kind of dealing with too, like in the neighborhood, like kind of prejudices that are going on, and like these terrible people that are in there giving him and his family and people around there problems, and all these kind of things. And how his one friend though tells him about Bruce Springsteen, and he gives him these CDs, the cassette tapes to listen to, and how like this music is really like speaking to him, and kind of like almost a metaphor for things that he's going through in his life, and how his father is, and all these kind of things. And there's all sorts of problem that happen though, because like in the very beginning of this movie, his father ends up, you know, losing his job, and like the family doesn't exactly know what they're gonna do, and how they're going to, you know, pay the bills and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of just all about, you know, the things that this kid is going through with his family, and how, you know, Bruce Springsteen's music is really helping him. It's a really, really well done character piece here. On here though, it has a behind the scenes, the true story behind the film, you know, as well as deleted scenes on this one. The next one here is from Paramount, and this is a movie that stars, you know, Keira Knightley and Matt Smith, and it's called Official Secrets. And this one is an interesting movie. It's basically though about Keira Knightley's character. She works for kind of like a what you would say, it's some sort of like a agency in the UK where they're like kind of like telecommunications, sort of like they can kind of spy on things and kind of like keep things moving, I guess. It's like one of those things, like I feel like if you were like born in the UK and everything, you'd know more about this. But she basically is like works with this group, but she gets sent this order that she and the whole office team gets this memo saying that the U.S. government wants them to tap into something, to spy on some information, to try and do something with the war, to help have the war happen, and all these sort of things. And she kind of discovers that there's some really shady things that are going on, and she ends up talking to the paper and but anonymously, but then it ends up getting back, and it's essentially though about when she kind of tells on some things that are happening, it becomes this horrific situation for her and all the things that are going on. It's one of those really interesting thriller films here. I thought Keira Knightley though did a really good job in this movie though. Like I said, this one here is called Official Secrets. The next one here is from Screen Media. It's a documentary here called Memory: The Origins of Alien, and this is a really well done documentary all about the original Alien film, and it's kind of about how it all came together, and it deals with people who are behind the production, and kind of about how Dan O'Bannon, who is the writer of the story, Dan O'Bannon also directed Return of the Living Dead. It was my top favorite movie, but he wrote a number of other stories as well, and some other screenplays and stuff. But Alien, of course, was his biggest film that he wrote for, and it's essentially though kind of about the origins of Alien and how it originally was starting, and kind of how the creatures originally were supposed to look, and kind of all this stuff. And it all goes through the production and the making of. Like I said, it has all sorts of interviews and behind the scenes footage and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are a fan of the film Alien, this is a really, really well done documentary here all about the origins of the film and all that kind of stuff. So definitely one I would recommend you guys check out. The next ones here are all from Movie Zing, and I'll have a link where you guys can order these ones for the best price. This is a movie that I was really interested in seeing, which stars Sarah Hyland and Terrence James Williams, who is from the show Everybody Hates Chris. He was on that show, and I was really cool to see him in this movie. And Sarah Hyland too, I've been a fan of forever. It's a movie here called The Wedding Year, and this is also from Freestyle Digital Media. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, Freestyle Digital Media, and this is a movie, like I said, called The Wedding Year. And this is basically, though, about Sarah Hyland's character who ends up, going on a date and meets, a blind date, a dating app, and meets Tyler James Williams' character, and they, really hit it off. And it's kind of since they're both, getting to their 30s, it's kind of to the point where all their friends are starting to get married, and they're kind of talking about oh yeah, I got 10 invites to this and 10 wedding invites for the next year, and she's oh, I have 8, and they kind of are going, well, we should go to these things together. But they kind of do these things where they kind of cut down on who they're going to see. They're going, well, we don't need to see this person, we'll go to this one. If we go to this one, we won't go to that one. And it's just basically though about them together and their relationship, and then them going from wedding to wedding to wedding, and kind of all the kind of quirky things that happen at these weddings, some of the problems, their ups and downs and stuff that are going on. I actually really like this movie. I thought they both did Sarah Hyland and Tyler James Williams did a really, really great job in this one. And Sarah Hyland's character too works at where they sell wedding dresses and everything. So she's kind of around weddings all the time as it is. So she's kind of dealing with that as it is. And Anna Camp's character is her manager that she works with there. And even her character is getting married. Like I said, definitely check this out. I thought this was a really, really fun, sweet film here. And the next one I got here is from Movie Zing as well, and it's also a CBS DVD title, and this is The Fonz and the Happy Days Gang. This is an animated series, which I feel like this is a really, really forgotten series. You don't hear about it too much. I don't really think this really even had much of a syndication that I can think of. I don't really remember seeing this really on TV or getting re-shown or anything like that. It lasted for 2 seasons, and it's basically though about it's an animated version with the Fonz, and then Richie, Cunningham and Ralph Mouth, and it's voiced by all the original actors from the show. And this is also right around the time too when Ron Howard's character, left Happy Days, and then this aired I think a little bit after he left. But it's basically though about the Fonz and then Richie and Ralph Mouth and then this alien girl all going in this time machine, going back in time and the future and all these kind of things, and encountering dinosaurs and all kind of aliens and creatures and all sort of things. And each episode is them them like inside kind of like a problem and having to like solve it and figure out how they're going to escape and get away. And the opening too, each episode, like the narration for the opening credits and everything is by Wolfman Jack, who I always love. Wolfman Jack, you know, he was in like Motel Hell. He was like a radio guy, and he had this cool voice. He's like, "Hey, yeah, Wolfman Jack here. Hey, how you doing? Come on up here. They come on here. They're coming there with the funds and the Happy Days gang here. They're gonna have all sorts of problems here. Wolfman Jack." Something like that. His voice kind of like that, but he like hosts the, you know, narrates the opening credits. The next one's here from Movie Zing as well, and these are also Sony titles. And this is one, I had not seen this movie in years since this one first came out, and it stars Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner. It's 300 Miles to Graceland. And this is, and also Kristen Slater's in this movie, and it's based, and as well as Courtney Cox. And it's basically, though, about it's all set in Vegas during this Elvis kind of impersonation kind of contest, sort of like an Elvis fest where like all the people that are like dressed like Elvis and everything all kind of come together for this. And Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell's characters, they like with their group of the people that they know, they're having like this plan of like robbing this casino, and like during all of this, and they kind of feel like since there's all this kind of stuff going on, they're all dressed like Elvis as well. They can kind of slip away, and it would be like impossible to find them because like everybody looks like Elvis. So it's basically though them planning this, you know, this heist of stealing this money, and then like all the sort of problems and everything that they go through because of this and everything. And it has on here though a theatrical trailer on this one. Also, too, I noticed, in case you guys didn't hear, Sony as well, you know, through their MOD, you know, Burn on Demand, and they're all press discs too, Sony's discs for those curious. But they announced Look Who's Talking on Blu-ray, which I can't wait for that. I always love that movie. Hopefully, they put out the sequels as well. But they also here from Movie Zing and Sony is the whole 9 Yards. There's also a sequel to this one as well. This is another one of those movies that I had not seen since this one like first came out. I think I remember like, you know, getting. It was like one of the early DVDs I remember getting back in the day. It's a movie that stars Bruce Willis, Matthew Perry, Amanda Peet, and it's Bruce Willis's character who is like this kind of in like witness protection, who's in the mob, and he's kind of hiding out and everything. And Matthew Perry's character kind of comes to discover this about him, and they like, and Bruce Willis's character is kind of looking at him like, "Are you going to say anything? Are you going to like spread this around? And can I trust you?" And he just kind of wants to become friends with him. And his character's a dentist who he has like a bad relationship with his wife, and his assistant is played by Amanda Peet, and Amanda Peet's character, you know, kind of dreams and wants to be like you know, in the like a hitman like Bruce Willis's character was, and like she kind of starts bothering him, and it's kind of like the people that are looking for Bruce Willis's character are coming around and coming to Matthew Perry's character, and it's kind of like all kind of problems that are happening. It's a really fun movie. Like I said, I had not seen this movie in years, so it's cool to see this again. This has on here a commentary track on here with the director, interview gallery with the cast on this one, as well as a theatrical trailer. The next one's here from Severin Films. This is one I had never seen before, and this one gets a top recommendation. This movie was outstanding. I don't know how I had never seen this movie before. I don't know how I never heard of this movie before. It's a movie that's directed by Penelope Spears, you know, who went on to direct, you know, Wayne's World. Right before this movie, she did a movie called Suburbia. There's a movie here called The Boys Next Door, which stars Maxwell Caulfield, who was in, you know, he was in Empire Records playing Rex Manning, and Charlie Sheen. This is one of Charlie Sheen's really early films. I think he was like 18 years old when they made this movie. And it's basically though about both their characters who are friends. They just ended up graduating from high school, and they're kind of going on like this road trip because like Charlie Sheen's character got some money, so they're kind of going this road trip to go to LA to kind of hang out there and mess around and everything. But Max Carfield's character is kind of like he's saying really weird stuff about how he's like always can't stand things and can't stand people and wants to commit murder, and like he thinks about it and all this kind of stuff. And when they go out to LA though, things start to go really bad. Like it's kind of like a series of bad decisions, and they end up like hurting this gas station attendant and injuring him really badly. And Charlie Sheen's character is kind of witnessing these things, and he's kind of like not really sure about all this, but he doesn't really want to let down his friend, and because of the whole thing, he's kind of like really impressionable. And basically though, as soon as this happens, though, this attack of one person at the gas station, it kind of is a downward spiral, and he kind of wants to actually start committing murder, and it's kind of like it just builds up, and it's like the police detectives are kind of searching about these things that are going on around the town, and the police detective, one of them is played by Christopher McDonald, and like, I don't know, I love this movie. And also too, I love movies that have scenes in malls, and there's a great sequence in this movie, a large sequence in a mall in this movie. And I don't know, like I said, if you guys know me throughout the years of my videos, I always talk about how I love movies set in malls, and this has a great mall setting scene in here, and has on here though a commentary track on here with Penelope Spears and actor Max Caulfield, as well as an interview on here with Stephen Thrower, author of Nightmare USA. Interviews on here with actor Maxwell Caulfield, as well as Christopher McDonald. Has on here though interviews with street band performers. Has on here though interview on here with actor Kenneth Courtland. Alternate opening titles and extended scenes in this one. Also too, which is kind of cool, is the actor who was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, who Pee-wee meets on the train, who's like the homeless man on the train that he's like singing Jimmy Crack Corn with. He's in this movie for this quick scene, and he looks exactly like he did in Pee-wee. This movie was filmed in 1984, so it's kind of like he almost might have been wearing the same clothes, and he might have gone from like the set of Pee-wee's Big Adventure to this, and it could have been like the same day, or like within like the same week. Like if you see this, you'll be like, yep, this was like around the same time. Also, picture quality looks great here on Blu-ray, but absolutely a 100% must-watch movie here. The next one here is from Severin Films as well, and also too, to mention about Severin Films, they're starting to have a new line which is going to be kids films. And the first movie that they're releasing on the kids film line, which is amazing news, is The Peanut Butter Solution. It's another movie, if you guys have seen my videos for years, that's like one of my top favorite movies of all time. It's such an out there, creepy movie from the 80s, and that's like their first line. So I'm hoping though they start to release lots of stuff, and there's like on this line maybe even do some TV and like obscure stuff like My Pet Monster live action movie, which is never released on anything, or Popples, live action movie, or Zoobly Zoo, like some of that kind of stuff too. I think would be kind of cool. I don't know if they would ever be able to have Blu-rays of those, but if they do like DVDs of some kids stuff too that's kind of lost, I think that would be kind of cool. And the next one here is from Severin Films as well, and this is The Pearls of Gwendolyn in the Land of Yik Yak. It's also called Gwendolyn. This is like the alternate U.S. title of this one. This is basically though about this. It's another film that's kind of like a Indiana Jones kind of adventure film, and it's about this girl who ends up kind of needing the help she's basically trying to find her father, and she ends up like having this guy who's like kind of like the Indiana Jones character, but he doesn't really want to help her, but he's also kind of bumbling a little bit, but it's kind of like the journey with them to try and find her father, and they kind of, and also it has like futuristic kind of vibes as well. Some of the stuff that they come across on the journey, it's like got like vibes of like Masters of the Universe a little bit, and those kind of like Zordaz and that kind of stuff, like those kind of feels to this one a little bit. On here, like I said, this has the alternate U.S. version of the film on here. It has a commentary track on here with the director. It has a commentary track on here with Tawny Kitaen, as well as Brent Huff, who are the stars of the film. It has on here some interviews on here, Blu-ray promos on here. On this one, like I said, this is another really fun movie. I had not seen this one as well in years. I also like the music as well on this movie. And the next ones here are all from Mill Creek, and there's some really, really cool releases here to let you guys know that are available. And the first one here is available for the first time ever on Blu-ray, and it's Charlie's Angels, the complete series here. And this is one of those shows that throughout the years, I've only ever actually seen a couple episodes of this one, so it's really cool to have the complete series here on Blu-ray. And if you guys don't know the series, it's basically, though, about Charlie, who's like a voice in this box, and you don't really know who it is. And it's these girls who are, work for Charlie, and they, basically go undercover, and they're spies, and they kind of spy on people that are up to bad things, or if somebody's gone missing, or there's like a criminal, and all these kind of things, and they go and stop them and kind of get to the bottom of certain things and stuff like that. It's a really, really fun show though. But also though, what's as cool is it includes, like I said, the entire series, and as well as it has the show, which I think was from 2011, I think is when it was on. And it's like the Charlie's Angels reboot series. So it's really cool. That one is included as in this one as well. And I'll show you guys though a look inside at the discs and everything. And in here though, this is a total of a 20 disc set. And here's how the discs are in here. But picture quality though, it looks great here. Mill Creek did a really great job, and the transfers on these ones look really, really good here on Blu-ray. And I don't think, that it's ever actually broadcast like on when it came to like rerunning the show. I don't know if it's ever played before, on in recent times in HD. I'm not sure, but like I said, picture quality though, it looks really really good here. The other complete series here from Mill Creek is the King of Queens, the complete series here. It stars Kevin James and as well as Leah Remy and as well as Jerry Stiller. This is another one of those shows that I've watched this show so many times throughout the years, and always a fan too of Kevin James, and it's really cool to have this one, like I said, in a whole complete collection. So I actually don't own any of these ones, so it's really cool. I really love complete series, like a complete series set that I'm hoping, keep like crossing my fingers for from Mill Creek to do, is Malcolm in the Middle, because like that one is only ever in the US had season 1 released. So hopefully someday that gets to get released in like a complete series Blu-ray or a complete series set. I would love for that to happen. But this one has all 207 episodes, and this is basically about Kevin James and his wife and her father all living together, and all sort of problems with them living together, and kind of like Kevin James and his friends, and all just kind of all the stuff that they're going through. It's just a really really fun series, and I'll show you guys though how its discs look and everything. But this is in a hardbound box here. And the discs here are all in, sleeves, so it has all the seasons here in these individual, each sleeve has one disc on each side. Like I said, though, really, really glad to have the entire series here on DVD of this one. And these two here, I believe these are the newest series of Ultraman. And it's 2 ones here, and it's Ultraman Greed and Ultraman Orb. And both of these ones include the movies as well. So it has Ultraman Greed, the series, as well as Ultraman Greed, the movie, and then Ultraman Orb, the series, as well as the movie. And inside of these ones, too, they include, I really love the way these are designed. They have also episode guides, which have, information about the episodes, but it also talks about, like, the versions of Ultraman that you see in the series. And it also shows all the kind of villains, the creatures that that Ultraman battles as well. So I don't know, I really think that's a cool thing to have like a episode guide in there like that shows, the details like that. Also, I'll show you guys look inside for the Ultraman Orb one as well, and that has the same thing in there. The episode guide, as well as, the versions of Ultraman, and the episode guide, as well as the creatures as well that are in the series. But another one, if you guys are a fan of the Ultraman series, and these ones too, these have the original Japanese audio for those wondering as well. And now these ones here are all from Mill Creek as well, and it's a bunch of Christmas holiday films, and it's 3 different releases here. The first one here is Down Home Christmas. This is a 5-movie collection. These were all films that were seen on the Lifetime, and it has A Christmas Contract, A Hometown Christmas, Christmas on the Bayou, Wish Upon Christmas, and then Christmas in Mississippi. And this is it's a 2-disc set here, and they also includes as well digital copies of the films as well that you guys can go to on Mill Creek's streaming app Movie Spree. But it also has here, the other Christmas film here is Christmas on the Range, and that one includes a digital copy. And it also has, though, behind-the-scenes featurette and cast interviews. And the one here, too, which this is a really fun movie as well. This is called Elf That Saves Christmas, and this is about an elf who's kind of fed up with, living in, like, the North Pole, and ends up taking a trip to Florida. But then at the same time, Santa is kidnapped by, like, the mafia and, like, held captive, and she kind of has to go and track him down and like to save Christmas. And it's just a really really fun Christmas holiday movie here. The next one here is from Wild Eye Releasing, and it's a movie here called the Zombie Apocalypse Department 1F. This is about these 2 guys who end up meeting this one guy because they want to work for him, kind of like selling things for him, selling illegal substances and stuff like that. And basically, though, the guy though that they meet in his like apartment, and he's like going, oh, well, if you work for me and you get the money, you can get an apartment like this, and all these like saying all these things, and you can get a drone like this because he has this drone, and he shows his drone to them, and he's like shows how he spies on his neighbor with the drone. And then when he goes to do something inside, the guys take the drone down like a lower level, the floor below, and you see like all these zombies in there attacking and killing these people and all this kind of stuff, and they're all like freaking out. And the guy looks back at the footage and he's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And it's basically, though, like something happens to the guy in his apartment like immediately in the very beginning of this movie, and it's like the two guys like stuck in this apartment, barricading themselves in, hiding out from the zombies, and they're trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do, how they're going to escape. And it's just kind of like, it's all, you know, 90% of it's set in the apartment, and it's just kind of like what they're going through, and them trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do. And it has on here, though, behind the scenes on this one, as well as trailers. And the last one here is from Film Crest Media Group, and this is a series here called Deadline. This has all 39 episodes, and this is a series that was like lost. It was one of those things that never really, I don't think it ever played again. You know, this aired in like 1959 to 61, and I don't think it like had ever been seen since. And it's basically, though, it's kind of like a true crime before like they were doing stuff like that, like early on anthology series. And it's kind of all about truth, you know, police kind of things that happen, like crimes and stuff like that, you know, done and you know, reenacted. And it's like kind of like stuff in the newspaper. So it was a really interesting series about like crimes and murders and all that kind of stuff that, you know, was before its time, this kind of a concept. But it has on here, though, episode summaries, photo gallery, trailer, trivia on this one as well. And it's a 3-disc set here. Like I said, this is a pretty cool, you know, archival series that had never been released before. But anyway, though, guys, that's all for the review portion of this video. Thanks again for watching, subscribing. I'll see you guys later.